At my secondary school in Worcestershire, we're expecting Ofsted at any moment. And this has resulted in a massive increase in workload over the course of this term, specifically for our heads of department and middle leaders. The workload that they've been asked to complete has really been impossible for them to do. It's involved frequent monitoring of the staff in their departments, massive completion of paperwork, and then numerous meetings to discuss the paperwork, to the point where there's no time left to actually address any of the issues that arise through the monitoring and the discussion. Heads of department were using words like sad and broken and exhausted to me to describe how they were feeling. They're working all hours in evenings and weekends and still not able to complete what was expected of them. So to try and address this, I convened a Teams meeting specifically of heads of departments in the NEU to discuss the issues. Once it was known that we were doing that meeting, other heads of department who weren't NEU asked if they could join the meeting as well. And we did allow that because we felt that there's solidarity in numbers and we would have more chance of success if we're speaking from strength. It was a really productive meeting. It allowed people to vent their feelings a bit, but then also to discuss the specific issues that were a problem and to suggest solutions, ways forward that we could still achieve the required monitoring and information gathering without it being so unwieldy. Following that meeting, I collated all the ideas and the solutions, passed them on to our head teacher, who received it positively and was prepared to have a dialogue. We followed it up with a meeting with him and two of the heads of department who were prepared to come with me and represent their views. That's a bit of a step forward in our school because historically people have not wanted to speak out because there have been repercussions. I don't want to use the term bullying, but it hasn't been a pleasant atmosphere when people have actually spoken out about things. So for those two heads of department to come with me and represent everyone else, I felt was a really positive step. The meeting was a positive one, it was productive, and we've made significant improvements. So the whole process of monitoring has now been streamlined. Frequency of things has been adapted more to suit departments. Over a fortnight, we have a 2-week timetable, and over a fortnight, the number of lessons that a geography teacher might see their class is different to the number of times an English teacher might see them, for example, and that's now reflected in the frequency of the monitoring. So there are a number of positive solutions that our heads of department put forward. They are in a much better place now. They feel that it's manageable, they feel that the data that they're collecting is useful, and they're actually able to use it and actually act on some of the points that are coming out of that process. I think it was a successful action, partly because we've got a receptive head, but we had a very clear identification of the issue that we were trying to address, and we didn't just present problems, we suggested solutions as well. We always approach the head teacher in a constructive manner rather than an adversarial one, which I think is vital. And my members know that I totally promise anonymity. So if they wish to make a comment through me and not be named, then I'm absolutely fine to pass that on. And that has made a huge difference to people being prepared to speak up. Numbers are important. We have quite a few NEU members in my school. We're the majority union. I'm finding now that more people are starting to move over to the NEU. And when new staff join, they're recommended to join the NEU because they know that we've got a rep who is active. My next steps now, I think, are obviously to continue the dialogue with the head teacher, which is going really well. We've recently appointed a health and safety rep, so that'll be great to be able to share the workload with her. We have regular meetings, and my specific target now is to monitor the directed time calendar. We do have a directed time calendar and it's very detailed, But what I find is that other things get added in and added in and added in, and no one keeps account of how that is. The calendar isn't constantly updated. So I'm doing that now. I'm taking control of that system and making sure that when things are added on, they do get added onto the calendar so that we don't go overboard. And I think that's appreciated as well.